Are you looking for a faster video? Well, today it's a live stream, and I know you're probably looking for a really nice and tidy, edited down video, but I have ways for you to make it faster. You can click that little gear on the YouTube settings right there on the video and adjust the playback speed, make me sound like a chipmunk, and it'll go a lot faster. You can also look and see if there's timestamps for this project in the description, and if you're on a desktop, you can hover over the time bar at the bottom of the screen and see if it's chunked up into chapters, and then that way you can go directly to the step you're looking for. And lastly, you can also tap on the screen on the right hand side of the video picture or on the left hand side to make the video jump ahead, forward or backward if you're on a mobile device. And you can adjust that amount in your settings so you can have complete control over how much it jumps. So if you are on a desktop, you can use the fast forward or the rewind, and that will make it go faster as well. You can also enable subtitles, and the little CC on the screen will enable closed captioning. That way, if I am a little bit harder to understand with that double playback speed, the subtitles might help you out. All right, well, I know that it's not a nice little edited video, but if you sew with me, we'll get there together and it'll be lots of fun. And now for the live stream. Happy sewing!
Hi, how's it going? Hello, hello. It's really great to see you all. It's been way too long. I know I've seen some of you in the guild and some of those events there, but it's been so long since we've live streamed. I can't believe it. I can't believe it's been this long. How's it going? Hey, Beverly, nice to see you. Hi, Delwyn, Sarah, Sydney, Aisha, Amy, and Malin. Libby's on her way to you, isn't she, Malin? I love that you guys are going to meet. I hope that works out. Yeah, so what have you guys been up to? Oh, I'm glad, Malin. It's really great for me, too. Hey, Danny. Welcome. Hi, Kathleen. I know it's been a long time. Hi, Carol. We got to catch up, huh? Yay! Thanks, RG. I'm glad you're here. D-Mac, how's it going? I know, it's been a long time. Some people worry, you know, not having a schedule will kill their channel. Me? No. Nice. I just thought, like, so I kicked off the pattern review series last month. So I have been here, right? I just haven't been live. And that has been really great. Like, the views and the comments and the interaction has been astounding, which is awesome because they're really fun for me to make, and I put a lot of effort into them. And I created that whole like ideal standards packet, which I spent a lot of time on. And it's so nice to see it received the way it's been received, because I'm hoping that, you know, it's here for the long haul. So, and it's also, Wardrobe by Me even changed something on their pattern because of that review video. So that's pretty cool too. Awesome. You have to reorganize all the sewing stuff again. That's not so bad. Donna, did you get your new serger? Did it arrive, and what do you think? Is it out of the box yet? Cool, Malin. I'm so glad. Your guys' opinion means a lot to me. I mean, I'm not going to do it unless we're getting something out of it. You know what I mean? So I really want it to be useful. So not just viewed, but useful. So, and I feel like one of the things I feel really good about is that every time I get a comment with someone's personal pet peeve about patterns, I'm really, so far, I think every single one of those things has been in my ideal standards, like, rubric. So I feel like, okay, so far we're on the right track. We're fine. We're covering things people are actually wanting to see. So, oh, I'm so glad, Sydney. Aisha, that doesn't sound like the solution. As my friend would say, that sounds like a you problem. There were issues. It did not work. What? Wow. I'm so glad you figured that out and you weren't like, thinking it's you. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, something's wrong and then they're like, oh, it's not the machine. So that's awesome. Kathleen, let me tell you about my guild. That's what this new little logo, I was about to click it, but it won't matter to you. Underneath me, down there, that little iron with the little coat of arms with the iron plate, that is this new guild that I launched. It's still a baby, but it's basically a community, and you're welcome to join it. You can follow that website, sosoguild.com, and check it out. There's a free version, and so if you're familiar with the way Patreon worked, it's like that as far as the price structure, except that there is a free version. I am hoping a lot of people, join groups so I can keep it going. But there's a lot of content in there, whereas Patreon, I wasn't really giving a lot of extra additional content besides the live streams. This is more of a formalized way for me to deliver content to people that they've been wanting for years, and asking me for, like instruction or courses. There's workshop, like open workshop, like Zoom time where people are, can work on things and I'm there to answer questions. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. But if you're looking for an experience that like Instagram's kind of falling short for you, or you're tired of reels or just video after video or whatever, or feeling a little overwhelmed by everyone posting things, and you're feeling like, oh, I'm not doing as good as all these other sewists, I encourage you to check it out because it is a lot more calm and grounded in there. I'm really liking it. Ah, thanks, Malin. Yeah. Oh, there's no www, Malin. It's just sosoguild.com. I simplified it. So, oh, well, Aisha, that sounds like a solution then. I like that. Oh, wow. Dang, Donna. And you've already made a t-shirt? So one of the things, I sewed something yesterday I sewed two things on my serger that in the last week or so. I tried to do like a personal project that's been sitting in a bin that I've been wanting to do, and I was like, I don't have to stream this. I just really, at the end of January, I did so much this past January. Everyone here probably knows this, but this is what I've done this past January. I launched the Guild, which was a community. Excuse me, I haven't talked much. I've never used that platform before as a administrator. I've only used it as a user because I'm in someone else's network. It's Mighty Networks is the platform that the Guild is on. And I launched the Guild, learned how to use that platform to the best of my ability. It's been a steep learning curve. I created my first skill building session. I launched a new show, which is only available to groups in the Guild, called Ask a Sewy Question, which is like a live call-in radio show, but it is video format, so you can see me do a demonstration. What else have I done? Is that enough? Oh, and I launched the pattern review series and created the whole rubric and the all that stuff. So I've been really busy, and it's been an intense month. There's other stuff been going on that's not part of my sewing world. So yeah. You can do month to month. You can do a yearly thing, and you can switch levels. Yeah, exactly. You're making the belladonna top by Love Notions. Nice. Yeah, reels, right, Dylan? That's how I feel too. Yeah, Kathleen, I just saw your question. You can join month to month. You can just join free, check it out, and then decide which group. And you can also do a free month trial on any of those paid groups. Yeah. Let me see, did I miss anything? Okay, cool. Yeah, so I've been playing around with my serger, and I realized one thing I'm missing on the serger. When I look at the way an industrial serger sews, and you're looking at the foot and the knife, The one thing that that foot is missing is there's this little finger that pokes out from the foot. And what it does is it holds down your fabric as it goes under the knife. That is what this serger is missing. And I noticed this a lot when I was making this kind of fluffy, thick knit. It was a double knit that's super soft. I made Michael that raglan. What was the raglan I made by 5 out of 4? What was that called? All their patterns have like names I can never remember. So I made him that 2-tone raglan. It was navy blue and gray. It turned out great. I put it on. I was like, oh, I want this fabric. So I had enough fabric of the gray to make one more set of sleeves. And I thought, rather than this just being fabric sitting in my stash in this weird, awkward amount, I'm going to get another yard to make the body. And then I have enough for the sleeves. So it was like 2 shirts for the price of 1.5 in fabric, you know? And so that fabric, it's kind of fluffy and it's thick and yummy. It's really awesome. But it doesn't want to stay in front of the knife. It wants to cut and flip up over into the needle area. And that drove me kind of nuts. So, yes. You're making the Love Notions duet trousers. I've seen those. Hey, Terry. Welcome. Should I say Happy New Year? It's February. Happy Black History Month, maybe. Yeah, so yes, she loves those pants, Kathleen. I posted a bunch of pictures of her wearing them. And because, you know, people are always a little dubious when you're going to sew for them. And then once she got them, she was like, these are great. She didn't take them off the whole time. Once I gave them to her, she didn't take them off the whole time she was visiting. So, yeah. I bought fabric to make her a pair in black so she can wear them to work. I didn't have to alter anything, but I did have a lot of thoughts while I was sewing those because they're not hard. It's just they pick kind of hard ways to do a couple of the details. So for some reason, the waistband is different. The seams of the waistband don't line up on the side seam. It's almost like the back pants are different from the front pants, like they're 2 different pants. And I tried to figure out why this would be. The only thing I can think of is that it was a way to offset thicknesses, but honestly, I think you could even offset one more if the waistband was the same width all the way around, you put it on in one seam. The other thing, which is really cute, but it is a little trickier to sew with the fabric I used, is the way the front pockets are. They're hand pockets, but they're patch. So that means because of that curve, that long curve, you have to be really precise about that curve and making sure you get a nice smooth curve. So that isn't like, there's nothing wrong with that, but it does add a layer, you know. And then there was something else, I can't think of what it was, but yeah. And the other thing is, I, for some reason, when I got that pattern, thought that they were for stretch wovens, like they were supposed to be jeans, and you use a stretch woven. And I was completely wrong in that, so that was my fault. I bought a stretch woven, and I used a stretch woven, and they worked beautifully for that. It was originally intended for, like, say you wanted to use, like, sweatshirt fleece, but make them look like jeans. So I personally would not put that much effort into sweatshirt fleece because sweatshirt fleece has a short lifespan. It's why you don't see me sew a lot of knits, is because it has such a short lifespan, you know? Oh, yeah, exactly. That was a good one to get for free. That's a good one. And my daughter was almost the smallest size on there, too, and they fit her perfectly, and she has a lot of trouble finding sizes that fit her. There was it was something else the other day, like as far as like February launched something. I'm trying to think. I don't have to say Happy New Year. What was the other thing that happened? I can't think of what it was. I'm so bad at stuff like that. Anyway. Hi, Fiona. How's it going? I saw you say something earlier. I didn't say hi. All right. So what are we here for today? We're making the Azores. Hi, Nancy. Azores. I've been saying it wrong all month, which is funny because I know this word. I've seen this word. I've said this word correctly before. As soon as I saw this pattern, I started saying it incorrectly for a long time. Libby reminded me, that's not how you pronounce that, just so you know. So, Groundhog Day. It wasn't Groundhog Day. It was something else this month. Was it like, maybe it was like some sort of quilt thing, like National Quilt Day or something. And then it's Black History Month. And, God, there was something else. Oh, well, anyway. This month is, my family has 2 birthday gauntlets. Do you guys have birthday gauntlets in your family? Oh, Lunar New Year. Thank you, Danny. That's it. Happy Lunar New Year. Thank you. Oh my God, I knew it was a big one. Sheesh. So yeah, thank you guys. Oh my gosh. I literally just wished someone Happy Lunar New Year today. I totally forgot. All right, what was I about to say? Was I starting to talk about this? I feel like I was about to say something else. Shoot, that's me. Oh, maybe I should go over. I just wanted to share that I did buy a few patterns since I saw you last. Oh, birthday gauntlet. That's what I was going to say when you said 2/2/22. Oh my gosh, live streaming. I need to get back in the practice. Sorry, it might be like this the whole time. A birthday gauntlet. Do you have clusters of birthdays in your family? So for my family, it's in February and August. So, so like this month, it's my sister and my mom and my niece all in 2 days. And I know other people that are like at the last day of January, at the beginning of January. In fact, tomorrow is one of my oldest friend's birthday. And there's someone else this month. I mean, then you have all the holidays, right? You have Lincoln and Washington, like school. Remember those used to be school holiday birthdays? I don't know if they still are. They weren't where my daughter went to school. They did President's Week. So, which I used to hate and then I ended up loving. But, and then in July or August, it's my husband, my dad, and my brother all right then. And then I know a lot of other people that are born in those months. So in my life, my birthday gauntlets are in February and August. The birthday gauntlet. And then I'm out in May all by myself, but I create another gauntlet for people because in May, it was always Mother's Day and my birthday, and it was always the end of the school year. And so May was always hectic in our household. So, oh yeah, there you go, Malin. Yeah. Today is 2/2/22. Don't you feel like those year things always happen in February? It's not a leap year either. Okay, anyway, these are the patterns I've gotten. I think these are all the patterns I've gotten since I saw you last, just so you can keep up. I got this Olympia dress by Love Notions, which is a knit fabric. Libby in the Guild has posted a couple of pictures of her wearing. She made a blouse or a shirt using this as the bodice. It looks really cute. I didn't even recognize the same pattern. I was like, wait, I have that pattern. Love Notions has, if you're on their newsletter list, every Friday they have a $5 pattern. I almost got last Friday's. This is such a genius strategy because usually, I mean, I don't mind spending full price on a pattern. I'm never trying to get free patterns. That is something that probably doesn't sound true, but it is because I don't think pattern companies make that much money. But patterns add up fast, and I spend most of this out of, I just have to pay for it. So I don't mind going for the $5 deal. Plus, I figure if more people are going to buy it and I'm going to sew it, that might be helpful. So it's like, okay, might be a good one because more people probably buy this, right? So I got the Olympia dress. I got 2 stocks patterns. I've never sewn one of theirs. I got the Athena blouse, which I don't know about those shoulders, but we'll see. And then I got the Zephyr dress, What I like about the Stocks patterns is a lot of them look like they're for knits, but they're actually for wovens. This is all in the bias. I love bias cut stuff. This one is also not knit. And then I was finally clever and I put 2 pages on one of the back page. So this is from my pattern book. So I always print out the cover image and I print out the measurements and what you need. And then I put that in my binder so that I can browse patterns in there. I finally bought my first Style Arc patterns. I've been bugging you guys about this for a while, like what to buy. I'm so overwhelmed. Every time I go to buy something, I would get distracted and I just couldn't decide. So I ended up getting one of their little like groups and just calling it a day because I had heard a couple of these. I knew they were popular. I got the Logan Shacket. I got the Berry Woven Pant. Not a big fan of the silhouette, but we'll go for it. It's fine. And then I got the Tegan Knit Top. So all 3 of these were in one pattern bundle. They always have these bundles and things. So, but this is the hilarious thing. You guys have been warning me and telling me for years, you got to make a Style Arc because there's hardly any instructions. This is what you get for the entire pattern. 4 pages. That's hilarious. I love it. I can't wait. You know, this is speaking my love language, and I know that people are like, I hate that. This one, 3 pages total. The Berry, 3 pages total. That's everything you get besides the pattern. It was very hard for me to get the shacket. I have a big problem with that word. I don't like the pockets on this. Those pockets, they look okay in this sketch, but they are huge on people. Yeah, right, Sydney? I always tell people to do this on my patterns because my patterns, you can do this. You can print 2 landscape pages like this, and you can cut down on the number of pages and do it front and back. You've just cut it down by 1/4, right? But this one, I had to do it side by side, switch it to landscape, 2 pages per page, side by side, and vertical orientation. So there's quite a few little things you have to do to get it to do that, but it's worth it. The Kennedy, oh really, Terry? It turned out really great. Is it everything I need? I haven't looked at it very closely quite yet. That's awesome, Kathleen. Yeah, that they all line up. That's important, right? Maybe you don't need as many instructions if it all goes together really well. Why is that, Fiona? Why are you worried you won't be able to do it? Let's talk about that. Hi, Carrie. How's it going? Oh, I'm sorry, Carrie. Did you really? Oh, maybe the longer thing is a good thing. Like maybe YouTube likes me today. I don't know. Oh, that's awesome, Donna. That's great to hear. Okay, Carol. Yeah, I know. So let's check it out. Okay, so the one thing I'm not a big fan of is that there's hardly ever pictures on real people with the Style Arc patterns, and I think that that's because I think that there's more and more, like the more recent patterns have more real people, but it's usually like a sketch, right? You can make anything look like you want in a sketch. So, see, I love that, like here on this one page, you get the fabric and the trims, and you get the line drawing, you get the skill level. It says page 1 of 5. I don't know, the 5th page probably was just a printing diagram. This is the sewing instructions. You get 2 pages. I love it. And on this one here, you get, and look, the hashtag is right there next to the title. Love that. I was just having this conversation with someone on my channel today, like in a comment on one of those pattern review or the pattern standards one, and she said, you know, I really hate when I can't find the hashtag. There's a description, helpful hints, finished measurements in imperial and metric, pattern pieces, What is this right here? What is this? Oh, this is your sewing diagram. Oh my God, I've never seen this. Look at this. Those blue arrows point this seam goes to that seam. This seam goes to that seam. This goes to that. I have never before seen that. That's pretty funny. I love it. Ooh, I'm so excited. And then the sewing instructions. You're going to hate me. I'm going to love this, and you're going to hate me for it. Don't hate me. Oh, really? I haven't made any jolly patterns, Deborah. Hello, by the way. Fiona, I believe in you. Fiona, are you in the guild? I feel like I've seen a Fiona in the guild. Sorry if it's not you. But if so, feel free to ask questions if you're ever stuck. Then there's Berta. Yeah, I've heard that, Amy. Yeah, I love that name too. Michael and I almost picked Fiona, except she's named for my grandmother. So maybe if we'd had another kid and it was a girl, it probably would have been a Fiona. Okay. All right. So let's talk about where we're dallying because it's our first time seeing each other in so long. But yeah, so we're gonna do the Azores today. So when I first saw this, I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of like, I really love her pattern drafting, but the style, I hate to say it, it just seems a little old-fashioned. But then I noticed the yoke. And that is what made me go, oh, I want that. So look at the line drawing. I just think the cover picture just wasn't the best to show off the style lines. I'm glad it's a solid though. And it's one of the reasons I'm picking a solid today. I'm using a green linen that looks really wrinkled on the camera, but I promise it's not as bad as it looks on the camera. It just shows every little shadow, like every little bump. But I got this from Maker's Fabric. I love their fabric. Really, Fiona? That's funny. That's funny. You're in the journey. Okay, cool, Fiona. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Yeah, anytime you're having trouble, please feel free to ask questions. I'm not the only one in there that would answer too. You have a lot of pals, you know. All right, so I decided that the sleeve isn't quite for me. Hi, Megan. How's it going? Yay. So what I'm going to do, and I was pulling up a picture of that sketch I did, but I kind of got, where did oh, it's here. Okay. Let me see if I can pull up the sketch. All right, here. I'm going to share my screen. Well, you know what? I'm actually not going to do that. Yeah. That made me crack up. You know, Terry, I can look it up for you. I can put a link in the chat to it too if you want. But definitely garment weight. I mean, you could do really like lightweight pants, but they'd be like very lightweight summer pants. You know what I mean? Let's see. You Google Maker's Fabric and you're just lucky they come up at the top. You know what I mean? Because that name is so generic. Let me find it. I think this is it right here. There's 3 different greens, Terry. Ray. This is what I got. Let's see. Well, I should have gotten the matching thread, by the way. It says 200 GSM, grams per square meter. I'm more familiar with ounces. So I'm not actually sure. Like I was going to guess maybe 4 to 5 ounces, maybe more like 4 ounces, if that helps you. Yeah. How's it going, Ray? How do I? Yes, thank you, Aisha. Thanks. So when you guys are talking about making it a scoop, are you saying you just like it lower? It does look kind of high, doesn't it? It is kind of a higher neck. I mean, it depends on how much lower you want it, but yes, you're right. That is a little trickier because of the yoke, unless you wanted to lower the whole thing. You know, so it would be more like, I'm looking for a piece of paper. So if it's, like this, making it more of a scoop. I mean, you could bring it down like this distance right here between the neck and the yoke. It looks kind of short on her. Here's the pattern piece. And you're gonna have to look, like this is the cut line right here. So don't look at the paper. That's not much space. So the thing you could do is you can lower this yoke, but you're getting into danger territory putting that yoke seam too low over the bust, but there is room. Like you could lower the yoke. Oh my God, what happened there? And then you could bring down the neck like that. So I'm not sure it's ideal for making into a scoop. Just ignore this. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? More of a V-neck. Yeah, I actually think you could get away with that. So let's zoom the camera in a little bit to the pattern. And I'm kind of worried I'm going to draw my face with that Sharpie all of a sudden. Let's see. Oh, here it is. So here's the pattern piece, right? I'm going to use a pencil so I don't mark up my pattern completely. You could, so here's this little point, right? And remember, this is probably the actual finished seam line where this circle is. This is kind of a narrow amount. You could lower the yoke though. This is pretty high up on the body. The bust is probably way down here. But yeah, you could, you know, make it a V-neck like this. Get rid of the slit altogether. If you did that, I would actually be kind of tempted to round this too. I know I'm adding more to the pile, but I think that that would look a little bit more in line with the style line of a V. You know what I mean? Yeah, 28 grams per ounce. But how many ounces per, I think the thing I'm used to, Fiona, is like ounces, like when people say it's 4 ounces. I don't actually know what that is. Is that per yard or something? So this wouldn't actually be, I think this looks probably like a hard pattern change, but it actually wouldn't be. Because you would be eliminating the sewing of the slit if you wanted, because the V-neck would give you enough, right? And you know, this scoop is pretty high. with the V-neck in there, I feel like that's not the V-neck, I'm sorry, the slit is there really so you can don and doff it, to use that terminology, you know, to get it on and off. Rounding this, you know, whatever you did to this piece, you would do to the piece that corresponds to it. And then you'd still have your gathers. You just have to not do this too rounded. You want to kind of keep it probably a little shallower so that you can kind of keep these gathers in this flatter area here. Sometimes when gathers are at an angle, they kind of do funky things, you know what I mean? So, but this would be an option if you made this a gentle V scoop, maybe not a hard V. Don't sew the slit. You could put this piece on the fold. I love the idea of that, because having the seam all the way down already it kind of bugs me. But we're going to sew it as is. So, and then I would just make this a little more gentle, less of a hard angle here, because I think this little point here pointing at this V is a little bit awkward. So, hi Hannah, how's it going? So yeah, you and Amy were really interested in a scoop neck, but I'm not sure it's ideal for that because of the yoke. I was actually, I was thinking of it when you guys were talking about it, but I kind of wanted to look at the proportions because I was thinking, well, isn't it, why aren't they thinking it's a scoop neck? Is it really high up? And I just couldn't remember, you know, and then when I looked at it, I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty high up there. You could just leave the button off as well and just let it flop open. Just kind of let the little slit kind of flop open. Sometimes people even do this where they'll pin it back like this and put a button here and a button here, and then it's like a permanent V-neck. You know what I mean? So they just sew the whole thing as is. Don't put the loop and don't put the button in there. I've seen these slits where people do this and they do it symmetrically. So it would be folded back on this side too. That'd be kind of cute. What if you just did this? Let's get rid of all of this. Wouldn't it be fun just to have a channel dedicated to what else could we do with this pattern? What if you just did this? Something like a modified sweetheart. I don't know. I think you could safely leave this the same then. Maybe you round it a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, Nancy, probably because you're petite. I think that you're, yeah, I don't think it's you at all. I think it's just because you're petite. Oh, yeah, Sydney. Okay, yeah. I like that idea, Sydney. Yeah, you were kind of on the right track there all along. I'm going to erase it just so I don't accidentally cut mine like that. Because we all know I would. I see a line, I just start cutting. Okay. All right. Shall we? All right, so let's talk a little bit about sizing. This comes in a lot of sizing, and it does have some cup size versions. So you pick the cup size that works for you. I erroneously originally said this didn't come in very many sizes, but it's got so many sizes. There's 2 lines. So yeah, there's a lot. So it goes up to a size, well, there's A through double D cups. And that's sewing pattern cups, not bra size cups. Yeah, so then it goes up to 60-inch B cup and 63-inch double D, or 152 centimeters B cup or 160 centimeters double D. Goes down to a 30 1/8 inch A cup or 76.5 centimeter A cup, and 34 1/8 inch double D and 86.5 inch or centimeter, sorry, double D. So that's the bust. Hip is, okay, here we go. It goes from 33 1/8" hip, or 84 centimeter, to 62" or 157.5 centimeter. That is body measurements, not finished measurements. She's always got a lot of sizes. All right. Any other questions about that? Anyone want to know any more about the Azores? All right, let me put this here. I'll put this here. Okay, so one of the fun things about this, I didn't even tell you what I'm going to do to mine. Let me show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to make a short sleeve, and we're gonna kind of hope for the best on part of it because I'm not sure. But I'm going to do this. This drawing looks so old-fashioned, but I'm just going to do kind of a there doesn't seem to be a lot of gathers in the sleeve, thankfully, so I'm going to leave them in. I was going to take it out. I was just going to do a smooth sleeve like this, just a little smooth basic sleeve. I decided that I'd like to keep in line with the dress, and I think that this would look cuter on me than I'm willing to give it credit for, so I'm going to give it a shot. All else fails, I can take out the gathers and I can take out this and make the sleeve normal. I've already looked at my sleeve pattern compared to hers, and it would work. So all of these gathers, though, what I want to illustrate is using an elastic in your bobbin case. I have never done this before. So sewing drama incoming. Hopefully not, but I know you guys are all hoping for that. It looks really simple. Everywhere I see it looks really simple. I just am hoping it works on my industrial, because wouldn't that be great? So if you've never done that before, me either. Let's do it together. And then this is what the elastic looks like. I forgot I'm all zoomed in. Could you even see my sketches? I don't even know if you could see my sketches. Okay, I'm going to zoom back out. All right. Oh, I almost said end stream. Man, those buttons, man. I'm one of those people. I see a button, I just want to push it. Yeah, so this is the elastic. So I was a little confused in the instructions. It says you need 2 small spools, and in parentheses, 11 yards and whatever the meter equivalent was for that. And I was like, well, is that 2 spools, 11 meters each, or 11 yards each, or was that a total of 11 yards? This package is one package, and it has 30 yards in it, 27.4 meters. So I was like, all right, well, it covers it either way. I ended up doing the math. There's 7 rows of the elastic stitching on the front and back waist. And so that ended up being 10.5 yards. So I figured it'll be fine. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I hear, Sydney. I hear it's really awesome and magical. And it's like one of those things, once you do it, you want to do it on everything. And you kind of go down a rabbit hole and you're wondering why you never did it sooner. That's what I hear about it. So, and I just got that at Hearts Fabric. That was the only size elastic thread they had. So probably wherever Kenneth buys her elastic, it's in smaller packages or smaller amounts. And so that's why it says 2 small packages. I just wish in the parentheses it says for a total of X number of yards and meters, so you kind of know what you're looking for. Because I don't like buying extra stuff, and I would have probably worried and bought an extra package to make sure, you know. So, all right. So I have my fabric here. I almost picked this. Oh, here it is. So this was the fabric I was going to use for this. I was really excited about it too. But I just felt like it would be too busy for the camera. And then I was like, well, I could do this black as the yoke, you know, to kind of break it up. It's kind of a big print. It looks really good on camera though, but it's kind of a big print, don't you think? I don't know. I'll figure something out with this fabric. This is rayon. I've had it for a bit and it's all pre-washed and ready to go. Wow, Carrie, that's really awesome. Hi, Margit, how's it going? Oh, that's really awesome. I love that. I love that people are like, well, you know, on my very first project I ever sewed in my life, I did smocking. You know, the first person who I ever saw do it was Heather Ross, the fabric designer, because, you know, she and I used to be friends. And I remember when she was starting Monkey Monkey and she was sewing kids' clothes and kind of experimenting with things. That was one of the things she would do. Like she was experimenting with smocking, and I was like, what the heck? I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't even know we could buy the stuff to do that. And this was like, well, geez, like 25 years ago. Nothing will stop her though. If she wants something, nothing will stop her. All right, I need to refold my fabric a little bit. So, you know, I never, even if it's cut on the fold, I don't cut something in the middle, in the fold here if it's going to leave this chunk over here, right? That's why I'm going to move it over. I could eat this green. I hope it looks good on me. I love green. Let's see. And so there's the lines, the sewing lines for the smocking. It sounds really easy. I've already looked at the sewing instructions and I was like, I can do that. All right. Okay. Yeah, right, Carrie? Because then you have that whole piece over there you can use for other things. It's especially handy too, like say if you're going to have a lot of extra, you want to leave the most usable piece. Being kind to your, you know, future self, right? Oh my gosh, Fiona, and you still sew in fake fur? Yeah, no. I'll bet the fur's still in your sewing space too. This is not the fold line. This is the fold line. It's interesting that, oh, I know why. It's because I only have my size printed. I'm just trying to get the fold line on there. It's very confusing having the bounding box there because I don't have other sizes. Oh, right. Right, Sydney, exactly. All right, so what have you guys been working on? Have you guys been staying busy? Have you been sewing a lot? Did anyone make, like, you know, sewing resolutions for the year or plans? I have a brand new blade, so I'm being a little nervous here. This morning I woke up and I was like, I had an idea that I want to start another show. Apparently I just don't have enough to do. And I want it to be about, like, how do they do that? Like, you know, when you see, like, say you wanted to add the yoke that's on this dress to something else, how would you do that? And it would be like details off of patterns that exist. Ooh, Terry, oh, you're so smart. You're actually making the quilted lining. That's awesome. Are you enjoying that project? Oh my gosh, Nancy, right? It stayed for a long time, Fiona. Okay. Sometimes stitching. If the pattern pieces aren't already cut out, I do. And I know the next question is probably, well, do you have a rotary knife for paper and one for fabric? And I don't. I just use one. Hi, Lindsay. How's it going? Yeah, I don't think it's, I really don't mind it stitching, and it's, you know, I don't prefer cutting out all my pattern pieces individually because it's just so much extra work. But I do like to trim off the paper around it so I can kind of see the position on the fabric, so I can use the, you know, the fabric the best I can. All right, so let's just put our notches in here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to notch the top and the bottom of the smocking lines here, right? And then I'm going to mark at the fold too. Oh, both of my chalk liners are way over here. Sorry, let me go get it. I think I'll use the chalk, yeah, not the soapstone, because I think the soapstone might not show up very well on here. All right. My idea is that this probably won't be there by the time I get around to doing it. Although I think we should just do this right off the bat. Like, I want to do the, I'm really excited about the elastic thread sewing, so I might just do it right off the bat because I want to know. Hi, Beth Ann, how's it going? I think it lets you, when I schedule the stream, it says, do you want to set a reminder? Like if I'm a viewer and I'm like, no, not really, I know. Oh my gosh, you guys have posted so many things. I want to see what you guys are up to. The Foz top, Carol, nice. Oh, you did the dockside Henley for your husband? That's awesome. T-shirts for your daughter, Malin. Oh, nice. That'll be awesome. I bet she'll love that, Malin. Your mom asked you to make those things. Oh, yeah. That's quite a list. I think those are all fun things, and they're all pretty fast, though, at least. Yeah. Oh, good. Your darling range is dressed almost done. That's awesome. That'll be really cute. You're cutting out the Ashton. Have you made a bunch of those, right, Malin? You started the sleeve class. Woo woo. Yeah. Elastic bottom thread for shit. Wow. That's really cool, Amy. I love that you remember that conversation. Wait. I just lost Amy's thing. Oh, yeah, exactly. Did we really, Beth Ann? At a needlework show. Was it Stitches West, maybe? Needlework. I mean, I didn't do many, I didn't do any, like cross-stitch type of needlework shows or anything like that, but I did do Stitches West, which was knitting and crochet and weaving and all things like that kind of needlework. That's really nice, Fiona. Okay. I need to make sure I don't run out of fabric here. I know I had to be strategic because I didn't buy this fabric for this project. So I just want to make sure. I feel like I'm kind of off the screen too. So let me move things over. I already have a patterns, or yeah, like this little thing set up for my pattern pieces. my weights are kind of in the way. And what do you think is up with the coloring on the camera, though? I don't know about that, you know? All right, so this is gonna fit here barely. So the biggest piece that I need to worry about right now are sleeves. Thank goodness, too, that I'm doing short sleeve because I'm not sure I would have had enough. All right, so if you're cutting this out at home and you haven't cut out yet, I just want to call attention to the fact that you need double these pieces. So you need 4 of these and 2 of these on the fold. So make sure you think about that when you're planning your cutting, because that could be kind of a problem. This one's on the fold and this one's not, so that might help you, because you can kind of do this kind of thing where you nest them together like that, you know. I don't have a one-way fabric, but if you have a one-way fabric, you might want to think about that too. And if you're really struggling to get your pattern pieces cut out and you have a one-way fabric, consider doing the inside one upside down if that helps you out and it doesn't bug you. So. Oh, really? Aisha, nice. That's so interesting that they have sewing at Stitches now, because I know that would bug some people there. I think it's awesome, though. It was, people were, you know, tolerant of us sewists there because we made them good bags, you know. All right, so this one is also on the fold, and you have this cutout right here. Can you see that? Let's slide this all up. This is a woven linen. Barely fits on the camera. It looks so pretty in person. The fact that my table looks kind of pinkish, I think it's the green. We see that a lot lately with the greens and the turquoises. All right, so let's get this on the, I'm gonna do this piece upside down on the fabric, which is, to be honest, something I don't usually do, even if it's not one way. I've gotten to this point where I've gotten superstitious about it. Isn't that funny? Okay, so let's see here. I have this. So I have my sleeve still, and I folded it up because I'm going to make it shorter. And I'll show you the comparison. So one of the first things I did in this new guild that I've mentioned, the camera green is it's a little different. It's a little dingier and duskier on camera. It's not a bright Kelly though. I have the fabric pulled up on another tab. This is pretty accurate of how it looks. Ray! Oh, thank you, Ray. That's very nice of you. Thank you. Yeah, coffee with friends. It is. It's kind of dusty. Exactly. So on my guild, one of the things that I wanted to be able to do was start offering these like skill building sessions. And they're also sold on my website. So you'll probably start hearing me talk about them because they are going to be one of the things I can do to kind of earn some income for what I do here. And the very first one was kind of a chunk because I did it on fitting a set-in sleeve, not on how to sew it. There is that in there. There it is, Ray. There is a video on how to sew a set-in sleeve, but we all know that there's one on my YouTube channel as well. It's one of my most popular videos. But this one is all about fitting it, and there's all these tips, and you can see it on the dress form, on an arm. I show you every fitting issue, and then I show you how to fix it with your pattern. And so this is my set-in sleeve. And so I can compare it to hers. And so the thing I would do to compare it is I would put it up on its bicep line, which isn't printed on the pattern piece here. But this is, you know, at the seam line, the seam juncture right here would be about where it's at. And so what I can tell is that this cap is pretty shallow on this pattern. And usually when you have a pattern, a sleeve pattern with gathers, you would see a little bit of extra paper here because they're compensating for the fullness of the gathers. I'm not going to change anything because the gathers are pretty gentle on this pattern. I'm not going to worry about it. And this also will give me an opportunity if I'm just really not interested in the gathers once I've sewn it. I can take this sleeve off the dress. I can trim it down to my sleeve and everything will be fine. So that's how I'm thinking right now. And I go through a lot of this in this skill building session all about sleeves. And I've also compared the armhole of the garment to the armhole that this sleeve goes to. So that's the other thing that I looked at. Yeah, the set-in sleeves are one of the absolute most difficult things to fit on a garment. And personally, I think they're one of the most important things to fit really well. And I urge anyone, if they're fitting, if they're kind of in that fitting turmoil, to work on your across the shoulders and your armhole and then your sleeve, and then go about your bust and all that. So yeah, I had originally it was going to be about set-in sleeves a little bit differently, and then I started seeing what people were talking about in the guild, and I totally pivoted and made it all about fitting, because fitting is really what people want to learn. And I don't talk a lot about fitting. I mean, I do, but I guess I don't really talk a whole lot about fitting on my channel because it's so personal and it's such a big topic that if you just start scratching at it a little bit, you have to keep scratching at it to complete it. And it's so huge that I just don't start the scratching to begin with, you know? And this one I did. I went all the way through. I basically wrote a book. I did all these sketches. It's like, and then there's like a 18-page packet that goes with it, plus pattern pieces so you can sew. It's not really a sleeve for you to use for the drafting. You can if you want, but it's my sleeve. So, and the packet shows every little fitting issue and they're like little mini tutorials and what you do to fix it. And then there's a video to support it. So I'm really proud of it. I thought it turned out really good, and I'm really glad the people that have watched it are like, okay, yeah, this is pretty good. So I'm happy with that. All right, but that is my rationale for the sleeve. So anyone who has taken the sleeve thing knows, like, you know, this kind of builds on that, so you can see what I'm thinking of. You know what my one thing I should have figured out with this dress was the length before I cut it out, because I think I'm going to want it a little shorter. And I could have saved some fabric. All right, this doesn't look that accurate right here. My bad. I want this to be right. You really need this cutout and the fold to be perfectly accurate, because you need this little inset to match the pattern pieces that it goes with. So I need to adjust this a little bit. I don't think I was done adjusting that, and then I started talking like usual, right? All right. That was pretty cavalier, huh? Using my rotary knife there? Yeah, why not, right? Okay. I have two bins here, one for paper and one for, well, I have three: fabric, scraps, paper, and trash. And I've missed every single one of them for every time I've thrown something in. So you do pants before shirts, Carrie? That's awesome. How much ease do you think there should be at the armhole level on a standard woven tee? 2 inches. That's in the sleeve packet. Didn't think I'd know that, did you? All right, so there's a dot here and a dot here. Those are pivot points for seam allowance, so I'm not going to worry about those. How can you share a picture with me? Are you in the guild, Beth Ann? You're not, right? Because you can in there. If you're on Instagram, you can tag me and I'll see it. What do you have a picture of? All right, I'm just going to put my top and bottom. I'm desperately hoping that I actually sew these straight and parallel, you know, because it's important. It's in the packet, Mullen. Oh, nice, Beth Ann. That's really awesome. Okay, let's see. That's awesome, Beth Ann. Those are no joke, right? Look at that long piece of delicious linen. Sheesh. All right, so we just have our yokes. There's a surprisingly few pieces on this, you know. We just have our yokes in the sleeves. I can do my front yokes in this whole long piece here. Oh yeah, I've done that, Fiona. I've drawn lines. When I was first in fashion school and they talked about how they matched stripes, and they gave us for the quarter, it's a quarter-based program. So there's 4 quarters per year rather than 2 semesters. And they're really intensive, and the classes are like 6 hours long. And the quarter we did stripes, they gave us this bolt of stripe knit fabric. It was so hideous. Or no, it wasn't knit. It was woven. It was just, it wasn't that it was that hideous. It was just that I was so sick of seeing it because everybody had like so many yards of it and we were all using it all the time. I was just like, oh man. Here's another one of my straps, Carrie, for saving fabric. So it's because this piece is still attached to this. Sometimes what I do, if this piece is going to go all the way across, I'll bias it towards the end of the uncut piece. That way this is still all intact, you know. Depends on how big that side piece is. This isn't really that necessary for right here. It's not a big deal. But in other cases, it would probably be really helpful. All right. So I'm going to straighten out this little hem here because I want this to be at a right angle when it sews to itself, because this is another one of my little sleeve tutorials. So when your sleeve underarm is sewing together, right? So say we overlap this right here at the underarm, how it's going to sew. Right now, you see I have a point right here. It's hard to hold together so you can see it. I want a more of a smooth transition right here. It's more like that. So we're going to kind of straighten this out right here so that it brings it like this towards the bottom and we get a little straighter transition. That'll actually be nicer too for the rows of elastic thread, because otherwise they're going to be like also, they're already being kind of a little bit out of point right there. Dude, Kathleen, that's awesome. Thanks, Ray. Nice. I already did too. Oh, I tried to like my video and it said I needed to sign in. I was like, well, that's kind of rude. What do you mean I need to sign in? All right, so I'm gonna just do this right on my paper here. And I'm gonna go out about a 1/2 inch. I actually need a pin here on this side. Just something like that. Just kind of straighten it out right there. It's ideal if it's symmetrical too. It's such a small amount though, I'm not too worried about it. Except that I'm doing a really bad job right there. It's kind of a hot mess. All right, let's get rid of this. And I'll probably only do like 3 rows of the elastic thread on this side. We're also going to do this so we don't forget. Because how many times have we seen me do that? You know. I'm a little tempted to add to the cap, but like I said, it's not a very gathered sleeve. What I can do is all right. One of the quirks about this pattern is that the when you're looking at it on the table, usually what you see is the front is on your right as you're looking at it, and it would be the right-hand side of the body, meaning if you were to wear half the pattern, it would be on your right side. This is the left. And so that's the back sleeve, and then the back bodice is on this side, and the right side is, or in the left side is the front. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but it's just something to note if you're like me and you're used to kind of looking at your pattern and making some changes. Just remember that that's the back over there, and that when you're looking at the garment on the table, if it were laying, the 2 pieces were laying face up, the that would be the front and that would be the back. It would be the left side of the body. All right. I'm not going to worry about those lines for the smocking quite yet since I'm kind of winging it. All right, so we just have all these little pieces for the yoke. Not little, but just these. This one's on the fold and that one's not. And luckily I have enough for this one on the fold because that was the one I was a little bit worried about. And I didn't want to have to turn it sideways. I could with my linen, but I didn't want to have to do that because I knew people wouldn't be able to do that if they didn't have enough fabric. But I think this is supposed to take 3 yards of a certain width, and I think this isn't quite. No, this is almost 44. So maybe it is that I only got 2.5 yards. I can't remember. Like I said, I didn't buy this fabric for this project. I just bought it because I didn't want to miss out on it because I love green so much. And I've been looking for a green knit, or green linen. Not knit, linen. Okay, get your folds. This is probably a really bad example to show, but get your folds nice and lined up. This is probably not a very good example that I'm going to do this. I'm going to cut 2 on the fold at the same time. I know what it is that's throwing me off about the folds on this. So the pattern, my size of this pattern is this dotted line, or dashed line, excuse me. And the line that's on the fold is the dashed line. It's not the solid line. So usually when you see a pattern that is cut on the fold, the line that's on the fold would be like a solid line like this one on my thumbnail. But look, see, it's dashed where you cut in the fold. That's what's throwing me off every time. I'm just going to cut this off so that... All right, and so the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to nip the center at the neck, and I'm going to nip the center at the bottom of the yoke. Those will be really handy for sewing. We just have this now. I really tried to save fabric that's just not going to be there. But I do have this nice long piece. You could actually make kind of a cool scarf out of this. I don't think I can fit those. Let's do the narrower side. Actually, it might be a better use down here. Okay. I can get that right there. This is how I figure things out. I hover my weight right where the pattern goes, right there. All right, let's put this one here. And we'll put this one here. Like that. I think I can get all four like this on this piece. Yeah, all right. Oof. If not, I have enough fabric. Right? You can tell I like a fabric when I'm doing that kind of Tetris. Yeah. I want to be on a game show for pattern Tetris. I wonder if I'm more accurate cutting out a pattern piece with the paper cut out already, like the pattern piece that's already been cut out, or if it's not cut out yet. It's kind of interesting to think about, because when it's already cut out, you're trying to be accurate with your rotary knife. And it's kind of this perspective of seeing your knife against the paper edge like this. You can move it a little bit and you're not actually against the paper because you're so worried you're going to trim off the pattern piece, right? On the other hand, that might be better for some folks. Whereas cutting on the line of the paper, it's a very positive, like a visually positive experience, you can actually see where you cut and how badly or how good you cut it. You know, like I can see like right here, see I got a little bit off right here. Paper, you can see the white on the other side of my line and right here. Kind of interesting. So there's quite a few notches here. I think I'm going to do this one here. Those are seam pivot points. That I think is the notch to go to where the gathers start and stop on the sleeve. This is the button and buttonhole. I'm not going to notch that. All right. There's nothing wrong with notching that. I just don't really need it just because of, I just know. There's not much room to put that there, so you kind of have to put it there. So I'm just not going to because I'm using the rotary knife, which isn't as the best way to notch things anyway. All right. Okay, so I just need to cut out a little bit of interfacing. What do I got left? Not much, huh? Look at these scraps. They're such nice scraps, you know? But I have a little bin where I keep pieces that would be appropriate for like a quilt or something. All right. I have a little solids bin. Yeah, right, Nancy? I know. The cutting is like ASMR. Yeah, I was kind of zoning out there. Not zoning out, I was kind of focused, wasn't I? All right, Sarah, you probably already left, but you're patterning a boat cover. Oh my goodness, good luck. That sounds fun. Really, Terry? Interesting. That's interesting. I've never had anything but, I do have a Fiskars that one of you sent me as a alternative position for my hand, which was really thoughtful because they had heard me talk about, I have a lot of repetitive hand issues, and this is one of the triggers, is using a rotary knife. And so giving me something that's a different shape and different feel was a way to kind of counter that, because you should kind of change position, you know. And this works pretty good. It is a little, like, you can hear it's a little rattly. It feels a little like that too. My problem is that the, it's hard to remember now with the knife not being in there, but it would constantly do this. It would retract. So right now there's no knife in there, and this would be the off position. So the knife would be in the safety position. And so when you push it down, this would bring the knife out to use. And this retracted by itself at the little slight hint of pressure there. And so I'd be cutting and sometimes it would just retract. But I still use it occasionally. So, all right, we just need some, what do we think, white or black? What do we think? White or black? Oh, that's good, Nancy. See, it just could be mine then. Nice, Sarah. That's awesome. Congratulations. Oh, wow, Beth Ann. That's pretty awesome. So the thing I want you to worry about, though, with that, Beth Ann, is when you're pressing against a ruler, and you're probably a pro at this, I don't recommend these to do a lot of rotary knife cutting against, because they're pretty thin. So you're probably using a proper rotary ruler, like the ones that quilters use. They're a lot thicker. I can't grab this ruler from back here. But. Okay, note to self, this is not working out. These are a lot thicker, you can see. When you're using a ruler to cut, we don't realize, I'm not that great at it. What I don't realize is how much I'm pushing against the ruler, and then that can create the ruler to jump, right? Boop. Not on these thicker ones, this is pretty good. This is also really soft. These rulers are really soft. You see me use these, but they're not ideal rotary knife rulers. So, yeah, right, Nancy, exactly. I've had mine since they came out. My Olfa is that old. They don't even make them this shape, I don't think, anymore. Yeah, exactly, Beth Ann. That's smart. So I just want to mention that for folks because... especially if you're new using a rotary knife, you tend to do this thing where you push against the ruler and then you're pressing against it like this. You're doing these opposing forces. When really what you should be doing is just using it as a guide, and your ruler should just be resting on it. Your blade should be really, really sharp so that you're not pressing too hard. And that's one of my problems why I have a repetitive motion issue is pressing. So I'm not always the best example, but I do know, what is proper. And all I'll mention is the story I won't mention about the girl in college who wasn't using the right ruler. Do you, Evelyn? That's awesome. We're originals. All right, so what do you guys think black too? I think so too. I think the black might be good. Yeah. This is a fusible woven I'm going to use. The only thing I'm a little worried about is I did use this recently on the, not this brand, but a different one. I did it on that March top that I recorded, and then I had made a huge sewing fail, which was kind of hilarious. Not so funny since I was almost done with the video. And I couldn't use it, but I made the top work for me and it was fine. And it was the one I posted a picture of. It's white and it has Kelly green silhouettes of women's faces, wire drawings. So, I don't know if you're asking me that, Terry, or someone else, but my problem with that top is that the texture, I've never seen this with any of these woven fusibles, the texture shows through. So I might see how it does. The other thing is that it shrinks it, I think it's only on these. So part of me wants to actually cut all four with interfacing, even though that's not what's recommended, and it would make it kind of thick. This is also this is worth noting is that it would be probably really smart to do block fusing for something like this. Block fusing is when you would fuse the whole piece of fabric. So you would take your fabric, put it on the size interfacing you need. Look at this. I have this piece that almost fits perfectly. It's kind of hilarious. You iron it first and then you cut out your pieces and then you don't worry about anything getting shrunk. People say it doesn't shrink and it does. I feel like it, yeah. Which is finer. What do you mean by finer? Thinner? I need a blooper reel. I need to keep track of bloopers to be able to do that. And I don't. Just make sure you remember to flip this as well. Yeah, is that what this is? Is this the 40? It's not that. So this is Shape Flex, SF101. See, when people say to pre-wash it, but I see so many people say don't pre-wash it. Yeah, I think you're right to do that, Nancy. And I feel kind of, I'm not miserly about a lot of things, but I kind of am about interfacing. Oh, thinner? Oh, okay, Beth Ann. I'm not actually sure. I'm not the right person to ask. Thread weights change between brands. Not brands. Maybe it's markets. So the thread I use on my machine, I use a Tex 40. And the thread that is used for like top stitching jeans, that's a 10. But say I use another weight of the cone thread, the Tex 40, it Tex 27. That's actually lighter weight. But if you get into the other, like those top stitching threads, like the Italian ones, the smaller the number, the heavier weight. This is kind of annoying that you can't do a left and a right across this. Come on. Can I? Can I please? Please? Maybe not. Right there. Well, shoot. I'm just going to go like this. Do we think, you know, I always say there's no grain line with interfacing, but with the woven, there's absolutely a grain line. Right? Ooh, look at that. I don't usually cut out my interfacing with you guys, do I? I just kind of do it. I just handle it. I have these bolts now, which makes it a little tidier to do, which is nice. Interfacing is the one thing I cut incorrectly more often than anything else. Because what I'll do is I'll cut one to fit it, you know, and then I forget to flip it. And so then I have, shoot, 2 lefts and 2 rights. Anyone else do that? You don't cut ones, Terry. Terry's about that single cut life. Can't rip the woven, can you? On the woven, yeah, it's definitely got a grain line. But I think my backup plan right now as far as the shrinkage thing is I might, or the texture thing actually, I should say, not the shrinkage thing. I might just flip it and put the interfaced piece on the inside of the garment, which I know is not conventional. I haven't always had this problem. I don't know why all of a sudden I have, so. All right. All right, we got our pattern. We got our interfacing. Let's see what we got. We got our elastic thread. I can actually put this right here. Wait, what's Franken-foam? A sewist in Chicago calls it that when she pieces small piece of interfacing on one pattern piece. Franken-foam? Oh, is it like, she do like bag making and she uses the like soft and stable stuff? All right, so we have our back. Here's the yoke. I cut 2 of the back interfacing piece. I did not need to do that. Whoops. Here's the sleeve. About to panic because I thought I lost the front or cut something out of it because it looks like my scrap. Here's the front. All the time. Yeah, I do the quilt batting thing a lot. Here's the all right. Look how wrinkly it is. It won't look like this tomorrow. We're ready. We're ready to sew our first project of the year together. Yay. So I'll be live tomorrow, same time, same place. And I'll be sewing part 1. Let's see, what do we think we'll get through? I'll probably, let's see how she starts it off. She does the yoke and that button loop. Oh, I need fabric for the button loop. Do I want the button loop? Yeah, I think I want the button loop. And then, well, she assembles the whole front. Yeah, maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe we'll assemble the front and we'll assemble the back. And we'll do the elastic shearing on Saturday. Since more people can make it on Saturdays. So because I know that's something probably a few folks might be interested in, and this gives them a chance to check it out. So I'll be sewing the yoke into the front and the yoke on the back. That'll probably keep us busy. I need a little piece for the little button thing. I wonder what that pattern piece is. I might have missed it. It's probably just a measurement. Let's see. This is a good opportunity to use a cute button too, right? Button loop. It's probably here somewhere. One of the other things on here I should note when you go to cut it out is, you know, it's nice that it tells you print only these pieces for your pattern. I kept not really registering that the term common piece is, and this one's singular and this one was plural. Those are, you have to print those and then you pick your cup size. But that's what's really cool is like each of these 2 rows of numbers is one layout for a cup size, which is pretty cool. So there's actual pattern. When I see patterns that don't give you individual pattern pieces for certain things, I just think, why? It doesn't cost them anything if it's PDF only to create it. And, you know, like just to duplicate it and make it whatever they have to do. And because you don't have to print it all out, right? If you know what to print, you don't have to print it all out. So it doesn't, you're not having to print more. So, hi Diane, how's it going? Nice to see you. Yeah, so that is something, and I like that she just is like, all right, these are all the different cup sizes, and here's the pattern pieces that you need, because it's only the front that she needs to offer that on, right? The back doesn't have cup sizes. So you have your common pieces, and your fronts are different. So. All right, so let's see here. I just need a little piece for this button loop. So I'm going to guess that it is, what do we think? I'm going to guess it's about 1 inch wide. 1 inch wide. Yeah, I think it's probably that small, to be honest. Getting your button loop around a button, this has to be pretty darn small to actually go around the button, because if the shank of the button doesn't allow you to do this, then this isn't going to work out, right? So, yeah. Knowing what button you're going to do is probably more important at this point. So we'll just pin that there so we don't miss it. All right, cool. All right, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for coming back. Sorry, it's been since last year. Check out my guild if you haven't heard about it, sosoguild.com. Check it out. It's a pretty awesome space. Everyone's really awesome in there. Don't think that if you're new here and you see all these people chatting that you aren't a part of the group. You are absolutely a part of the group. They would all say the exact same thing. Everyone is welcome. So don't feel like just because you haven't been here for a year that you don't fit in. You absolutely fit in. It's always really exciting to hear what everyone is working on and doing, and I know that's how they all feel. So, see you, Delwyn. Thanks for coming. So, yeah, please consider checking it out. It is a really nice space in there if you're kind of tired of reels or you just really want... someone put it really well in there. They said, you know, I post my makes, and mostly it's like family that follows me, and they're not really sewists, so they're all really encouraging, but they're not sewists to talk to. And at least in this space, you can post to sewists and ask questions and participate that way. So, see you, Terry. Yeah, exactly. Nice, Ray. Nice, you made a little purse, not pajamas? That's awesome. 2 small finishing steps to go. The finishing, man, it's like a project's in like 3 phases, right? Cutting, sewing, and finishing. We all don't realize the finishing takes so much time. So, all right. Thanks, Amy. Thanks for coming, you guys. It was really great to see you guys again. I missed you all. I missed being here. This is the simplest thing I do, and I love it. There was a time when I would not have said that, but now this is like a very comfortable thing. Just to sew with you guys and check things out, right? So, thank you, Sydney. See ya, Aisha. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I don't know, where do I click again? Oh, here it is. All right. Bye. Hasta mañana, iguanas.